The Aston Martin Valhalla, one of the new hypercars from the British manufacturer, has already been showcased several times. Each time, a little adjustment is made, but it's still not entirely finalized. Today, we learned that the car will gain even more power than we initially thought, and it will become clear what the interior of the Super Aston will be like. You no longer see the wood from the trees when it comes to Aston Martin's new supercars and hypercars. Don't worry, we can shed some light on the matter. Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to the Luxury Car Life. Before we continue, don't wait until the end of the video to subscribe. Leave your like and activate the bell, it greatly helps our team. Aston Martin is launching 3 mid-engine supercars over several years. The first of them, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, is already in production and is by far the most expensive and exclusive of the group, with a price in the millions and a V12 engine with over 1,000 horsepower. This is a true extremist that, in fact, belongs on the road at most, according to the letter of the law. This is followed by the Aston Martin Valhalla, which we'll get to admire live once again. The Valhalla isn't finished yet, but little by little, we'll learn more about it. The third and final step in Aston Martin's supercar offensive is the new Vanquish, which will also be a mid-engine supercar. However, this car will have a much lower price compared to the hypercar regions than the other two. Returning to the middle stage, the Aston Martin Valhalla is a good step below the latter compared to the Valkyrie. But with an intended price of €700,000, excluding taxes, a ton less than previously anticipated, it's still a good price. The car doesn't have a V12 but rather the 4-liter turbo V8 engine known from other Aston Martins and AMG. The British have taken a firm approach to this power plant. Previously mentioned at 750 horsepower, it's now grown to 800. The V8 in the Valhalla is part of a new plug-in hybrid powertrain with 2 electric motors that produce a total of 1,012 horsepower, 62 more than previously announced. The torque should be around 1,000 Nm. The gasoline engine powers only the rear wheels, but the front axle can also be electrically engaged in traction. This is done ingeniously through a new 8-speed automatic gearbox with a dual clutch. According to Aston Martin, this means that all power, including that of the front electric motor, can be sent to the rear wheels. The reverse is also possible because in electric mode, this Super Aston has pure front-wheel drive. It can only maintain this for 15 kilometers, but it reduces CO2 emissions. Aston Martin is aiming for around 200 grams per kilometer, which means for Dutch buyers that the BPM, vehicle tax, amount should remain somewhat acceptable. A carbon monocoque forms the basis, of course, intended to achieve the right combination of impossibly high rigidity with very low weight. In total, the Valhalla weighs 1,550 kilograms, which is not much for a plug-in hybrid with a V8. The sprint from 0 to 100 is done in 2.5 seconds, and the top speed is about 350 kilometers per hour. With these numbers, the Valhalla is very similar to another plug-in hybrid supercar, the Ferrari SF90. When questioned, Aston Martin acknowledges that this car has been mentioned regularly in the Valhalla's development, but doesn't call it a direct competitor. "We're looking to the future, so we want the Valhalla to surpass today's SF90, said Simon Inglefield, Aston Martin's global head of customization and special sales. Inglefield is closely involved with the Valhalla because it is definitely special. There will be only 999 of them, which is considerably more than the 150 Valkyries but still not too many compared to the previous introduction in 2020. A lot has changed in the Valhalla. Take a good look at the still voluptuous flank shapes, the straight-cut windshield, and the new front and rear. In fact, only the basic recipe remains intact. The exterior itself isn't new because we saw it in 2021 when the green car was the exterior concept. Gray now represents the interior concept. This car, therefore, has a different interior than before. Aston Martin takes potential buyers, the press, and other stakeholders hand in hand in the development process, with the Valhalla becoming a bit more finished. According to Inglefield, the exterior is 90% ready, while the interior is 80% ready. It's already partially clear what will change. For example, the prototype still has adjustable pedals and a fixed seat that is part of the carbon fiber structure. The production model will have only an adjustable seat because it supposedly saves weight and provides comfort, although the numbers suggest otherwise. Comfort is indeed a theme of the Valhalla. The car has matrix headlights, dual-zone climate control, etc. The infotainment system includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and even adaptive cruise control. However, a very sporty feeling predominates inside. The seat is impossibly low, the steering wheel is flattened at the top and bottom, and the outward view is minimal, which raises some doubts about Aston Martin's idea that this should be a daily usable car. Unlike the Valkyrie, the Valhalla is, above all, an extremist. Although we like to be surprised by the production model, the idea that the Valhalla would also have GT qualities has left us very curious about the future of Aston Martin's more traditional models. After all, we have known the brand for years as the producer of Grand Tourers with a V8 or V12 up front. These are models that do not consider performance as high as the proverbial banner of the Valhalla and Valkyrie. Inglefield doesn't make any concrete statements about this, but he emphasizes again when questioned that the Valhalla is good at everything. This suggests that Aston Martin is emphatically heading towards becoming a true supercar manufacturer, and more Aston Martins will be developed according to this recipe in the future. The best example is the new Vanquish, which, as mentioned, also has a mid-engine and promises to be a supercar on the level of the McLaren 570, making it a relative bargain compared to the Valhalla. It will appear in a more definitive form next year and is expected to go into production in 2024. Tell us in the comments what you think about the Valhalla. Keep up with more videos like this by subscribing to our channel and hitting the notification bell. A big hug.